after this one.
Morning, my name is Fred Newsbound. I am a strategic planner for the Association of Oregon Rail Transit Advocates in Oregon. And first of all, I'd like to ask a question to the room. How many people came here on transit this morning? And I'm not talking about the Supreme Square. Okay. I noticed that the board and the staff are not raising their hands, at least the ones that I can see. Some staff. All right, a lot of staff. Okay. You get free passes too. I know because I used to work for TriMet. I hope to come today with a rewritten version of this testimony, which just happens to be the same as what I gave at the hearing. And the reason I don't have the testimony is because the information in ordinance number 10306 has the old proposal in it, not the newest one that staff has presented and that was on the website. So if I say something that has already been changed, then I hope to pardon me, but I had no other information at the time. Cutting service has got to be the last thing you do after you've cut everything else. The payroll tax and your fair revenue, the 500 million, whatever the number you have there, that's your local, that's the money you can use for operations. Too much of that money is going to non-operations. No offense to LTK Engineering. I know a number of people in that outfit, and they're a very good engineering and consulting firm, but I believe some of that money will come out of the payroll tax as a match. So this is a place where a capital project, you're using money, very scarce resources, for something else besides service at this point. And I really think that staff needs to look carefully again in cutting out all the unnecessary stuff at this point in time. We can get back to it once the economy recovers, but right now we need to keep as much service as possible. Last time TriMet went through major cuts like this was in the 80s, 1986, and it took a long, 84, I'm sorry. It took a very long time for TriMet to recover from that episode. Once you start cutting service, you start losing ridership, and you start a downward spiral that's even worse than the economy. So please ask staff to go back and do one more look at this. There are a number of economies that we and others have proposed. For instance, taking the 33 route just a little further to the Rose Quarter. That will preserve ridership. If you make people transfer to Emmanuel Hospital, there are opportunities for transferring those way down. You're going to lose ridership in a big way on that line. Unless your staff's idea is to cut off 33 altogether, that is not a good idea to just take it to Emmanuel Hospital. The connection of line 70 and line 10 through Lloyd Center would be an operating efficiency and would provide a north-south connection that we don't have right now in this part of town. The 63 Washington Park service, the shuttle is not a substitute for the 63. Even though it operates more frequently, the shuttle does not make a good connection with the entire system. It's great to get people to and from the Zoo Max station, but it comes about half a mile short of connecting with the rest of the system on the east end. It does not connect with Max down at TGE Park, or the 20, or the 15, which are all buses that have high ridership. If I want to go to the Rose Garden, why would I take Max all the way up to the zoo and then come back on a shuttle? It takes 10-15 minutes to come back again, plus the transfer of the zoo. I think that if I were coming from East Portland or from downtown, it might make more sense to get off at TGE Park and to connect with something, a bus line that starts at TGE Park and goes up in that direction.
So I need you to conclude your comments.
Yes. Other specifics are in here. We have not included all of our specifics because there are a number of things that we think ought to be changed. We don't have the staff to put it all together in a document like this. But so please send it back to staff. Do not rubber stamp this particular proposal. They're getting better, and I'm pleased that they have been listening to many of the
I brought a letter that I gave. Everybody should have a copy of the letter. And what I didn't say in my letter is that what I'm talking about is less than 2 miles. It's from Gateway to the Parkville Summer Transit Center. It's less than 2 miles. And it makes all the difference in the world. I subscribe to the Symphony of the Opera, and I get home at night, and the alternative route they suggest is the 22, which stops Monday at 10 p.m., and it goes from what would be the end of the 15 line east. It doesn't go toward Parkville Sumner Transit Station. And the area that I'm supposed to walk after I get off the bus at Gateway, or the MAX at Gateway, since the red line MAX doesn't run from Gateway to Parkville Summer Transit Station, and now the bus won't go that direction. I'm supposed to walk on 102nd Avenue, which is 1.5 miles, and there are no sidewalks. Erratically, I mean, on one side of the street there will be a sidewalk, and then on another one, and there's no crosswalks. So it's dangerous, and the opera gets out at between 11 and 12. Very often, my only way home has been to run for the last 15 bus, which the last that I know of is at 12:07 from downtown 5th and 7th out to my house is almost at the Parkville Summer Transit Station. So it's 1.5 miles, and it's the only night service, and so that's kind of the gist of my concern. I depend on it. I go everywhere on the 15 bus, so I care about that. And okay, the only other thing I wanted to say is just to put in a word. The Maywood Park campus in Mount Hood Community College is located at 102nd and Prescott, and they wouldn't be affected by the late night service, but it seems to me that's an important place to have service along 102nd Avenue for that reason too. So I would just hate to see the 15 stop 1.5 miles short of where it should be going into the evening.
Thank you. Ms. Campbell?
Sorry that I can't face you all, but I'm not that good a driver yet. I couldn't see in this small space. My name is Jan Campbell, and I chair the Committee on Accessible Transportation. And my testimony is going to change a little too, because it sounds like some good news has happened. And I want to thank both the Board of Directors and the General Manager for supporting people with disabilities and seniors, which is the advisory committee. That's the group of individuals that we focus on. I would like to read the first paragraph, and I hope you all received our letter that we sent out on April 10th. The members of the Committee on Accessible Transportation realize that service reduction may be inevitable at this time. However, TriMet management and the Board of Directors should focus on the fact that seniors and people with disabilities are disproportionately affected by these actions, especially line elimination. In this vein, the CAT strongly recommends that only service reductions be considered in the September 2009 service cuts proposals, thus leaving the lift service area boundaries intact. And it looks like you did bring one of the lines back, and Bob, if you don't mind if I address you as Bob instead of Mr. Williams. He's on our CAT committee, and he's been a very strong advocate, and it looks like some of the advocacy is paid off, and I want to thank you for that as well. But I do want to talk just a little about the elimination of service, which I understand now has been changed, as well as the cuts and how it affects people with disabilities. Even when you eliminate like weekend hours, it can affect people with disabilities, because even if they're using the fixed route service and not eligible for the LIFT or the paratransit service,